Hi, everybody. DJ Yoakley with you here, a player profile from Spartanville, USA in Boardman, a young man you have seen so many times here on your sports network, and you're going to see him hopefully many more times this summer as Cene Park opens up. His name is Connor Miller. He made a big decision this morning. Connor, would you like to share with the world your decision that you came out with?
Going to Baldwin Wallace University next year, this fall, playing football.
Love it.
I'm excited about that.
We're so proud of you, man. You've done so much. You're a multi-sport athlete. You've done so much for so many teams in so many different positions, from a leadership standpoint all the way to getting it done on the field and proving yourself. It's good to see that Baldwin Wallace is going to reward you for your efforts, and I think they'll be rewarded for choosing the right kid. What was the recruitment process like for you? It was a long one, but one that I think you made the right decision for you in the end.
Yeah, well, it all kind of started junior year, that football season, having some coaches reach out and kind of seeing what's out there for me. And by the time senior year came around and that senior season, I was really getting into a lot of conversations with coaches and starting to narrow down my options. So once I got onto a couple campuses, I got to feel everything out. Baldwin Wallace really stuck out to me, being 20 minutes from downtown Cleveland and just the feel of the city and the coaches and everything. I got to really live it on my visit, and I really enjoyed it, and that's why I made my decision.
Now, you're a Cleveland sports fan, correct?
Absolutely.
Did that go into the decision?
My mom might not like me saying this, but yeah.
Of course. But Dad loves that you're saying it.
Did.
Dad loves that you're saying it. So when you were looking at other schools as well, other schools were looking at you, we'll put it that way. What went into your decision? In all reality, what went into you picking Baldwin Wallace over the several other ones that you were looking at?
Well, from a football standpoint, I think the level of play and kind of the bonds I was able to make with coaches in such a short amount of time, because you only get so many hours on a visit, being able to talk to coaches and players on the team. So I think I really gelled with them more than others on my visit at BW. And from an academic standpoint, I really like their programs. It is more of a theater kind of school, but they're fantastic in every element when it comes to academics. So I couldn't pass up on that.
No, you're right. That's a great school for academics. You've had Boardman Buzzing the entire day today. We've seen it on their Facebook profiles. We've seen it on their social media of all different forms. What's it like to be able to have such a large school, one of the larger schools in the entire area, and be kind of the role model for so many of the younger generation of Spartans out there? And what advice do you have for them when they go through the recruiting process or when they step into the halls of Boardman High School?
It's everything I've ever dreamed of. I've been going to Boardman. I've lived in Boardman since I was born. Never once thought about moving out, anything, going to different schools. So I've been through it all. I've seen the highs and the lows of Boardman from 2001 on to 2020 now. I got to see the JT Moores and the Chase Hammonds and, everyone growing up at the same time as me. So, being able to kind of see them and picture myself out there is something I hope that I could have been to younger kids while I was playing football. They would look up to me and say, that's kind of what I want to be one day. And to kids going through this process in the next couple of years to come, I would just say be patient. You don't need to rush into anything. I'm sure there's deadlines, but if you start early and you really know what you're looking for, make yourself a list and search out for what you're looking for, and don't be afraid to reach out either. If someone doesn't reach out to you, that doesn't mean you can't reach out to them.
Is there anything at Boardman that you wish you did or that you felt like you left undone?
Honestly, no.
Love it.
I feel like I squeezed every bit I could out of it, besides, unfortunately what's going on the last about 10, 11 weeks of school. That happens. It's uncontrollable, but of controllables, I think I took care of that. I really got as much out of it as I could. I'm pretty excited I was able to do that.
How were you able to adjust to that? I mean, speaking of the coronavirus and schools shutting down and athletics shutting down, obviously it was a bummer. I mean, is it as a feelings? Like, did you go through the denial? Did you go through feeling like you were cheated, all that stuff? Or did you already make your decision up that, hey, I'm playing football at the next level? Baseball at this point would just be kind of a stamp on my career.
Sure, you're bummed out. I mean, it's the most exciting part of your whole school career up to this point. Really, it's the last quarter of your senior year, and sure, you feel cheated and all that, but I've been able to, had all the time in the world to sit down and look back, and you just think, wow, like I got to play 3 sports with all my buddies growing up, and all the memories we made together, and I wouldn't trade it for the world, even though this is going on. One last baseball season, hadn't already made my decision to play football. It would have been the last dance for me, but at the end of the day, I wouldn't change it.
All right, let's talk about the goals at the next level. Moving forward, obviously you've talked to the coaches, you've gelled, as you said, with your coaching staff. What kind of goals do you have going into your freshman year, and what things do you want to accomplish as the newbie on campus?
I want to compete. I think I've always been a competitor at heart, and one thing that I want to bring to BW is the Youngstown grit. So I think bringing that up there, I'll be able to throw myself into the fire, and whatever happens with playing time or whatnot, doesn't matter. I'm going to go compete, and I'm going to make that football team better.
I love that. That's one of my favorite answers I think I've ever gotten, because you are a Youngstown kid at heart. If anybody's ever seen you play, you're getting, like you said it, you squeeze every bit of the juice out of the lemon at the end of the day. You're probably exhausted, but you still have that smile on your face, that patented smile that you're coming out of the locker room. You're going to the Cene Park concession stand. I mean, you're that kid that is just loving what he does. So with that in mind, how has multiple sports provided you multiple opportunities to where you're at right now, Connor?
Playing 3 sports in high school and sticking through with 3 sports has probably been one of my better decisions in my whole life, really. The 3 sports that I grew up playing, the guys, because not everyone does play 3 sports, so you get different teammates in 3 sports. And even the guys that do play multiple sports, they're not the same in every sport. I'm not the same in every sport. So, you get to deal with new people. The coaches that I've had in all 3 sports growing up, and especially at the high school level, have been phenomenal, helping shape me into who I am now. And it's provided me with a lot of different experiences, winning and losing, and life lessons everywhere. So
I like the bad news.
Awesome.
I like the bad news first. So let's start with the challenges of playing 3 sports. What kind of things have you had to give up? What kind of things have you had to put on postponement in order to be busy? And I want to give you a little bit of credit here, if I could. Not only do you play 3 sports, but you play 3 sports at a very high level. You're a starter in all 3 categories. It's not like you're coming off the bench or anything like that. What challenges have you incurred from that?
Off seasons are very tough.
Yeah, I can imagine.
When you got 4 football practices every week leading up to a Friday night, and you've got to do schoolwork. You've got to keep your body in check too. You're lifting, and you're trying to condition a little bit for maybe basketball. I mean, it really hits me the hardest during baseball season.
Okay.
When you're getting ready for football.
Yeah.
And the football strength and conditioning during the summer when you're catching double headers is pretty rough. So
especially when you're in Texas and trying to keep out of the heat, right?
Especially then. I think I lost 12, 15 pounds of water in Texas. It was not good for this football year.
But on the other side of that coin, let's talk about some of the most rewarding aspects of being that multi-sport athlete, playing 3 sports. I mean, you're out in the bright lights all the time. Your name's always in the news. What is that like on the positive side?
It's very rewarding. The grind that goes through 4 years plus of playing 3 sports, it all shines in the end, you know. I'm just fortunate enough to do it in Boardman and have the supporting cast that I've had, because it's been a great ride.
I love that you're the guy that kind of bucks the trend. In a world full of people that are specializing in sports, you kind of said, no, I'm going to do what I want to do, and I'm going to play with my friends. So hats off to you, man. That's a fantastic thing to do. And people are going to look at your name for a long time and say, I want to be like Connor Miller. So that being said, who are your role models? Who are the people you want to be like and that have led you to the man you are today?
Wow. I mean, number one and most important, my family. My parents are very involved in all the sports in Boardman, especially my dad with the youth sports. He plays a big role in that, so
sure does.
Got to thank them, number one. My brothers as well. I can't forget about them. You know, two of the most important people that I want to be role models to. I think they've always looked up to me, and I just kind of hope I've showed them the right way these past couple of years. So, you know, my family, my brothers, I've got to go with my teammates and my coaches too, because you can have role models that are teammates too.
Absolutely.
I've got to shout out Derek Anderson. I've known this kid since 4th, 5th grade, playing against him and with him in basketball, and he's come a long way. He's worked his butt off too, so I'm really proud of him.
No, that's huge. Now, here's an off-the-cuff question, because I know your family very well. Do your brothers have any chance of being better than you in sports? And you can answer honestly, because I know your whole family's competitive. So this is going to be on the record for the rest of time until I interview them.
I'm going to challenge them. I'm not going to tell you whether they are or not, but I'm going to challenge them, and I'm going to hope they watch this. Go be better, especially Logan. Logan always the youngest, the 10-year-old. He always lets me know that he's better than me right now. I don't know if he's better than me right now, but he could be.
That's awesome. So comparatively, is Logan where you were at or higher for where you were at 10 years old?
I'd like to say it's pretty similar.
Okay.
From what I can remember being that age.
So I'm guessing in reality, that's probably he's better, because I know that's you. You're going to put yourself up on that pedestal.
I can't do that. He's showing some flashes of potential, though.
Look at him, keeping it modest. I love it. I love it. All right. So, I mean, your family's a great family, one of the greatest families I know. Spartans through and through. So for you, what is your favorite Spartan memory, young man?
Can I give you one on each sport?
Absolutely. It's your show.
Right, sweet. I'll go with baseball first. A playoff game last year. Tyler Peterson pitched his butt off in a game against Massillon, Washington. Tie game in the bottom of the 7th. Gave up a base hit with their runner in scoring position. Our left fielder throws me an absolute bullet, and I tag the guy out at home to send it to extra innings, and we end up winning by a run. So that was probably one of my favorite by far baseball moment, playing for the Spartans.
Awesome. All right, basketball.
So basketball, there's so many great basketball moments these past 2 years.
Yeah, you guys had a couple hell of a years, right? It's
been a lot of fun playing with that team. That's one thing I'm really going to miss about being a Spartan. Besides playing in the Civic Center in Canton, my favorite basketball memory has got to be the Cheney game at home this past year.
Ooh,
Came down to the wire. Back and forth game is probably our biggest contest of the year, and we came out, and there's not much else to say about that one. It was a lot of fun playing there.
That was two very good teams that put everything out there, and you guys got the leg up. I mean, that might be, not to give you guys any disrespect, but that's probably a game that goes, if you play 10 times, it goes 5-5 or 6-4 one way or the other.
For sure.
And let's save the best for last, football.
Football, wow. There might be more of those than basketball. one of the reasons why I stuck to football next year. Football has to be the Ursuline game my junior year at YSU, a double overtime thriller. Another back and forth game that we ended up winning on a walk-off touchdown in the bottom of the second overtime. So Michael Horo threw a dime to Jawan Forte. I'll never forget that.
You Spartans have a flair for the dramatic, don't you?
We do. We like to make it interesting.
Connor Miller, we are so incredibly proud of you. Thanks for all that you've done for YSN. Thanks for all you've done for Boardman, for the younger generations, for your family, and for those outside in the community. We wish you all the best at Baldwin Wallace, and if you ever need anything, we're just a call away.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yoakley. I appreciate it.